Hi everybody, I have a story here from Tracy. Ollie, I'm 45 years old. You are now the third person in my life that I have shared any of this with, the other two being my children. They only know the things that I have used as explanations for life lessons that I have taught them over the years. I was birthed by a Mississippi-bred gypsy evil crackhead narc who I met when I was 21 years old. I was raised by a sadistic man of God narc, an evil sadistic god of woman of God step monster. The sexual, emotional, psychological, and physical abuse was horrible. I was 12 years old. My father had just finished his 15-minute session of whipping my bare ass with his hand as part of their sadistic sex game that they played a couple times a week. I couldn't take it anymore. I threw some belongings in a trash bag and set it outside my window. I opened the door and headed down the long hallway to the front door. I rounded the corner to the entryway, and there stood my father between me and the door. "Where are you going?" "Outside." He looked down at me and calmly said, "You walk out that door and you can never come back. Doesn't matter though, because God told me I can wash my hands of your soul." Another one using God to excuse his shitty sexually deviant behavior. Shaking, puke wanting to fly out my mouth, tears rolling down my face, I turned. He stepped to the side. I walked out the front door. I didn't lay eyes on him again until age 18. I consider myself lucky as fuck to escape that crazy shit, even though I was still a child, and it was still the beginning of another long list of crazy shit in my life. I am still thankful that he let me leave. Knowing this small amount, I'm sure you could just imagine the insanity that my life had been and continued to be for a long time. I am now 6 months no contact with a man that was all three of those sick motherfuckers rolled into one. What the fuck? It just blows my mind how conditioned we become to these narcs that we escape just to run the fuck to another one and another one and another one. I say, fuck that. Enough is enough. I will live the second half of my life with the awareness of all my fucked up issues and not let the cycle continue. Thank you, Ollie, for listening. Your feedback on this small introduction would be received with a smile because you are very similar to me in strength that we have held on to. Well, thank you very much for your introduction. And the reason I really wanted to read this is, I do read these cold, but, at the beginning of your message, I saw bred by a Mississippi gypsy evil crackhead. So I'm like, okay, I just did a video last night about this. Let's see. And I want this to kind of be an example for everybody of why I keep saying it's important to talk about these things. Because now here we have Tracy, who I am now the third person and all, and she came to me knowing I'm going to all of you to begin her start for her recovery, realizing of all the fucked up things in her life, even though she didn't get into it. But what she told us was enough. And just last night, we determined that, because another person came forward with her story, and I basically said, Mississippi gypsy. So, and now the next night, this is how we relate to each other. Okay, because you don't know whose story is going to connect with who. And then who that's going to motivate to say, this is a problem. Let me start getting in this conversation. Let me get this out there. And, all of you who put your stories out there deserve credit as well, because you're just as part of this process as I am reading your story and just letting you know what I think. You know, it's amazing to me how many emails I get, you know, when people tell me I'm saved their life or saved their sanity, or it's mind blowing to me. It really is. But as far as what you wrote, Tracy, you probably were fortunate to get out. You were very fortunate to get out, and I can only imagine the turmoil your life has been. Well, look at it this way, and this could be depressing at first, but when you realize the truth about it, I think you're going to be able to heal. You were fucked either way. Okay, if you stayed, it was going to be like this, and when you left, it was going to be like this. They destroyed everything about you, everything about your innocence, everything about your thinking patterns. They destroyed your everything as a child. So even if he didn't kick you out and you didn't leave, then what? Then what? Could have been worse. Might have been worse. At least you got those narcs out of your life at a fairly early age. So now when you tell me that you wrap up with you're now no contact 6 months from a guy who is basically a combination of all three of your abusers rolled up into one, I mean, there it is. There it is. This is like narcissism like this, and dealing with narcissistic abusers is a tiny little snowball at the top of a mountain that just rolls down into an avalanche, picking up everything in its pathway. And that's how you end up with a guy who is, you know, a combination of all your abusers. And I think we all do that to a certain extent, because it's familiar. That's what we think we deserve. We don't even realize we've done it until it's too late. The key to you now is staying no contact, and I think you know that already. And every day is another step forward for you. And now that you have these tools to understand, or you're beginning to have these tools to understand what narcissism is, what the abuse is about, why you think the way you do, and that you're not alone, you can move forward with your life in a much more positive way, and hopefully have the opportunity to meet people who aren't going to use and abuse you and treat you like every other abuser in your life. So thank you for your introduction. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. And thank you everybody who's watching. Any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And again, if you have a story or a question or an issue that you want read on the channel right away, you know what to do with the PayPal link in the description box. I'll have it right out to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again shortly. Bye.